son, where'd you find this?
Buckle up, buttercups. It's time to get down to business. It's the Totally Legitimate Business Podcast. Totally legit. Now, here are your hosts, Clint and James.
Hello. Welcome back to the Totally Legitimate Business Podcast, your own personal hell for the next hour. Clint, how you doing? How you doing, my guy?
Well, you know, for all of our rabid fan base out there, we did take a week off. We just been busy. There's a lot of shit
we took 2
down.
weeks off. We took 2 weeks off, buddy.
Did we take 2?
Yeah, damn. Time flies when you're stressed.
Dude, straight up. It's, you know, we're heading into Pisces season. That's what my partner tells me. So that's good news for me. So are you also a Pisces, James?
I'm not. I'm an Aquarius.
And I do want to make a public apology to you. I didn't call you on your birthday and say happy birthday because I'm a shit friend and I didn't know.
Son of a, as the end of the night approached, like 11:58, I sat on my couch and thought, he really didn't call me.
He's out there just having a good old time.
I added his name to the list of everyone else that didn't call me.
So wait, you have a list? That's not good.
I have multiple lists, buddy.
Yeah. He's like,
you're on all
just
of them,
out there. He's like, I'm sitting here with my fucking party hat on my couch, feeling sad that, with a big long list of names, and Clint's just out there with his other friend.
Yeah. Cut to you, and you're just like, oh, I'm so carefree right now. There's nothing I would rather be doing at this moment. Not even calling people to wish them happy birthday.
Yeah, that was what happened.
It's what happened. Yeah, I saw you. I FaceTimed. I hacked your FaceTime.
You have sleeper cells all around me.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to keep tabs on your friends. Like
you should. You just good to check in every now and then.
It's the Stone Cold Steve Austin approach to life. You don't trust anybody. All right.
Yeah.
Not even yourself.
Yeah. Definitely not yourself.
Well, happy belated birthday to you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I did it. And to celebrate becoming 35, I threw my back out. So that's pretty cool.
35 in a fucking lumbar issue. Yeah.
No big deal. It's also the chair that I have here is broken. So the lumbar should be some tight support, but it actually kind of caves in. It's probably really bad for my back.
Well, and James, you're also you're a statuesque man. You're very tall.
I don't fit comfortably in most spaces. Yeah. No.
I always wish I was taller, and then I'd see a tall guy on an airplane, and I said, "Man, James' life sucks."
Yeah. I can't tell you how many flights I've had to actually walk through the cabin like this. I don't know.
You're not even freakishly tall.
No, I'm just 6'1", 6'2", but it's just that once you cross the 6 foot threshold, most people aren't that height. So the world has been built for the height of 6 feet max. And I'm just awkwardly above that, and it makes me have to, or some cars too, some cars I'm really Jesus Christ.
That's
if
why
I get into a car accident, I'm dead.
That's why we pay NBA players so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly just being 6'2".
This world isn't built for LeBron. He can feel as much as he wants.
Honestly, I feel so bad for those guys on a bus. Imagine being on a bus full of those guys. How uncomfortable they must be. Jesus Christ, get me off this bus.
Sports.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, man. Well, hope the back injury's going.
It's good. I'm icing it. I've actually got we were talking, Courtney got sent this not pot, so you can see that. It's a CBD. Pot. It's a CBD icy gel. It's kind of icy hot, but it doesn't last nearly as long, which is, at first I was kind of annoyed, but now I'm actually kind of stoked because, you put on icy hot or Tiger Balm or something, and for the next 4 days, anytime you touch that area, it's just, you're just sticky. You're freshly oiled or lubed. And this stuff, it absorbs, it cools, and then maybe an hour or 2 hours later, you'd have to reapply because it's completely gone.
Are we doing sponsor reads right now? Is that what's going on?
No.
Did we finally get sponsored?
If they want to sponsor us, that's more than okay. But if not, I'll still rep the product because they gave it to me for free. I didn't have Tiger Balm, and I had that, so.
I'll take not pot or just regular pot. If you want to,
or just pot. Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. There's a lot of money in that industry right now,
You think so? Yeah.
They're looking for qualified representatives like ourselves. So
yeah, it's almost like people should just be able to smoke weed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Legalize it, bro.
No big deal. It's just, we'll let people drink. We'll let people drink and basically do whatever they want. But no, not smoking weed.
Whatever. Let them drink. Okay. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do.
I just think it's so fucking American to watch all those fucking conservative fucks in all those conservative states do a fucking 180 about weed once they saw how much money Colorado and all the other states that had legalized it were making. They're like, wait a minute. My morals are flexible if there's billions at stake here.
Yeah, once that fucking 65-year-old man fucking gets a little CBD cream on his back, he's like, oh,
I'm enlightened.
Okay.
I've seen the light. And that light is $1 billion personally deposited into my checking account.
It just loosened the stick up their ass is what it did. It did.
Tennessee, it was crazy. I was convinced when I moved up here. I was convinced when I moved up here that Tennessee was, a decade or two away from even entertaining that. But Tennessee has actually been kind of aggressive for other states, compared to other states around there. I mean, in some ways more aggressive than New York until the past year. New York was really dragging its feet, but then New Jersey did it. And New York was like, well, we can't have that. We can't have New Jersey.
Tennessee's music, it's got Music City, baby. And you know what goes good with music? Marijuana.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Accessory.
It
can make any band sound good.
Yeah, it's baked into the experience, no pun intended.
Baked in. Yeah, man. I know there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on these couple of weeks. Yeah, dude, I know we've been really busy with Modern Grievance stuff. It's just our little label. We got a couple of things we've been pumping out. So James, you wanna play a little bit of stuff for the fine people and let them see what we've been up to?
Let's definitely do it. So up first, we've got Dripwire, and Dripwire is composed mainly of our buddy Sam out in Portland, who just churns out the metal stylings, all music really. He's a super talented musician and songwriter and engineer.
He's a freak of nature.
He is. Like his ability to create is honestly, it's impressive.
I just recorded vocals with him for another project recently and spent the night at his house for 3 days. And the dude's he's just a machine. He wakes up, he drinks coffee, does a dab, and then just dives right in. He's just a pro. It's insane.
Seriously, that's just what he's been doing. He's been doing that for so long. I mean, as soon as we were of the age where we were figuring out how to record and do it correctly, ever since that, he's, been doing that. But anyways, Dripwire is, how many records have we put out now? We put out 3?
We've put out 2, and then he put out an EP on his own.
That's right.
November or something.
That's right.
All of which is solid. If you're into the kind of progressive metal, kind of, I don't know. This new one's really sludgy. I'm really into it.
That's been kind of the interesting thing is kind of watch him experiment with different types, variations on a theme. And this one's definitely more sludgy. It's definitely slower pace, but definitely
hey James.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Less talking and more rocking. Buddy.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you there. Anyways, this one is the new release. It's Bliss from Dripwire. We're going to be playing a song, Deadlights. We'll play a couple minutes of it. And, just get sludged out. Here we go. Let's sludge it.
Sets the mood. Damn.
Yeah, so that gives you a nice little healthy taste.
Dude, yeah, it's
very
so good, dude.
very sludged, very down-tuned, very
cool, like almost kind of like new metal-y influence parts that aren't like cheesy. It's very, dude, it's such a cool record.
Well, it's got what I like about Sam's particular style, and he's done this with everything he writes. It has dynamics. Like the songs have moments of intensity and moments of release. And he really kind of plays around with this nicely in a way that I don't hear most doom bands trying to. Like there's the atmospheric, ethereal level to this record that it tie together all the parts at which you might get bored if it was just, straight doom intensity for a super long time. And, these songs are pretty long, but it's doom metal, so I guess not really that long. And I did bass on this one, and it was fun. I haven't really recorded bass on anything in a very long time, other than just like demo shit for something I'm working on.
Yeah.
But it was really fun just to down tune it. And I forgot you
played on this record. It's very, it's
super
cool.
When we were in middle school, he and I had a band. He was a singer, and there was a guitar player, a drummer, and the drummer who was in that band programmed drums on this thing. And I played the bass. I played bass in that, though. That's what's funny is I haven't really played bass since. Yeah, Catalyst, Lincoln, Nebraska.
That's not the worst like teenage band name.
Dude, it wasn't bad, and we were organized. Like we sold out our venue. It was this little club called Knickerbockers. It was maybe 500 cap, and there were multiple times where we either headlined or co-headlined shows, and we sold out that venue.
Dang, baby.
At like 13, 14, 15. But we were just organized, and even then, like Sam was like, I can imagine just 13-year-old you and Sam in the green room at a sold out venue, just doing blow off of Nebraska bums. Yeah, definitely. Now, Knickerbockers didn't have a proper green room. Like it was actually kind of legendary. Like in Nebraska, in Lincoln, there weren't a bunch of all ages venues. There was only a handful. Knickerbockers was one of them. And it's where Incubus played the first time Incubus ever played in Nebraska.
Very cool.
It's where Slipknot played the first time Slipknot ever played in Nebraska. There was like this heritage of bands who had come through there because for a very long time, it was the only club between like Omaha, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, and then Colorado, because it's just empty. South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, there's nothing there. So Lincoln, there's also a really proper jazz club there called the Zoo Bar, which again is like nationally famous because for any touring artist who was going across country for jazz, they were probably going to play there. But Knickerbockers was more that way for like rock and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, rock and alternative for sure, because those were the genres that were really dominating at the time that the guys who owned it, Chris and Sean, they owned
such
it
a
from,
simpler time. Just Dickie shorts and spiked hair and ball chain necklaces.
Dude, it was so great. It was that place, honestly.
Dickie's work shirts.
They tore it down, but that place was a fucking oasis, dude. Like I can't tell you how many awesome shows, how many cool memories we had there, how many shows we played there. But anyways, it was cool to play bass because I haven't really played bass on anything like I was saying, but to be able to play it on this with Sam was super cool. And we also have we have another record. We have a whole other record of this stuff that we've got to kind of get together. I'm hoping maybe this one we can mix it in the studio now that he's working at the studio.
Yeah.
But
Sam just got a sweet little gig. We won't blow it up too much, but we're fucking stoked.
he fucking
hard.
earned, he fucking earned it, and this will take if he can use the equipment there, it will take his creative output to a whole different level because he makes everything sound good right now, and it's just him and his computer. When he has thousands of dollars of gear to play with and experiment with and
totally,
who the fuck knows that's a cool fucking situation for him. But again, he crushes it. So if you want to hear more music like that, check him out. Dripwire, bandcamp.com. Obviously available streaming everywhere, and
moderngrievance.com.
Moderngrievance.com for tangibles. Clint, let me I'm gonna get out of this screen really quickly so we can get a bigger view of, if you could just show the people.
Oh, it's a lovely compact disc. You thought they were gone. We're bringing them back, baby.
They're not, baby.
We just do cassettes and compact discs. Oh wait, or do we? Because another fun little announcement that we got, another W for the team. We got the first 7-inch record pressing of a Modern Grievance release.
Well, then
it's in a bunch of different countries, so all the DIY record labels put their logos together, put their money together, so we could get a bunch of these pressed. But we've only got 50 in the U.S. So Nurser's got some shows coming up. Bleach Drinker's been selling them out there in Sweden, where they're from. It's in Italy. It's in Indonesia now. On one
Hell yeah!
It's fucking crazy, dude. So
that's awesome.
Thanks to anybody who's checked that shit out. If you like grindcore, check out Nurser and Bleach Drinker for sure. But that's not it, James. We've got more stuff that we've been pumping out.
Yeah, we sure do.
I'm pleased to share the reissue of our friends in Self-Deprecator. They never press this stuff in a physical medium. They've just kind of been playing shows around Seattle. They've got a new album that they are just finishing up in the studio now. So we decided to take these tracks and put them on tape and CD for a bunch of good shows we got coming up. But yeah, dude, let's share a Self-Deprecator track with some people, because this band's real cool. Very, very mathcore. A lot of weird, different elements of metal. Super cool. Like the dude Biagio, who plays bass, is a graphic designer. He helps out Modern Grievance a lot. And yeah, man, just shout out. This record's crazy. I can't wait to hear their new one. But yeah, this is No End to This Hell from the Self-Deprecator Functional Human EP.
All of their names are on point. Song
I know,
name,
dude,
band
I love
name,
it.
album title, fucking great. All right, here we go. Yeah, man, this is super rad.
Yeah,
super cool. This visualizer, did they make all of this? Like did they film this and everything?
I think Biagio did like all this stuff.
Fucking super cool.
Yeah, Biagio's super talented, man. And what's crazy is that band's a 3-piece, so it's like they just make an ungodly amount of noise for 3 people. Like their drummer's so insane. Like he like literally, I think he just graduated school for like drum composition. So he's like he's a slayer.
Deep in it. Yeah, he's deep in it.
Their guitar player and vocalist Matt is just like nuts. Like he's always just like super on point. Biagio, like I said, just like slays bass in that band, plays in another death metal band in town, and like does graphic design work. And yeah, I'm just super stoked for them and like the direction they're going. But yeah, dude, big show this week too. We got sponsored by Mathcore Index, which is like the big, if you like mathcore or math rock kind of stuff, like, Dillinger Escape Plan, Converge, any of that stuff. They've been around for a long time. They're a big promotion site, and they are sponsoring the show. It's
hell yeah.
The 26th at the Cherry Pit here, which is a cool little DIY space in Seattle. Cell Damage from California is on it. Nurser's playing. Self-Deprecator's playing. Local hardcore band called Kaizo is playing. There's a band from I believe Georgia called Dead Whale that's playing as well. Either way, the lineup's just super sick. It's going to be real fun. We'll have all of this stuff for sale out there, so come see me behind that merch table, baby.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, man. And we do have one more too. We just dropped another single from a new band. God, we're fucking busy, James. What are we doing with our lives?
There's been a lot of things. There's been a lot of things happening.
Yeah, a band called Worth Nothing from Bremerton. They've been around for a little bit, but we're gonna put out their new record. I played shows with them. I see them at every single like crust punk and like grindcore show that I go to. Like I'll be in Portland and those dudes will show up and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like they're just all over the place. So really stoked to help them put out their new record where it's looking like it's going to be sometime in like May. There's a big like grindcore fest up here in June that I know they're playing and, some of our crew will be on. So that'll be real gnarly, but yeah, dude, check out this new stuff. It's just like scummy ass metal, hardcore punk shit. It's called Flesh and Failure off the new record that'll be out later this spring. Yeah, dude, check it out. Worth Nothing.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, dude, they're pretty nasty. Yeah, man, stoked for that. Yeah, they just dropped that single this week. We're still kind of getting some other stuff together, doing some art and everything. But yeah, man, we've been super busy. And then we've got, Modern Grievance coming out with some other stuff too. We've got we're down to some art and masters for a couple other things. You and I just finished recording the project, and I think we got final mixes, dude. So definitely a lot of cool, heavy stuff heading your way. If you're into that, show some love. Modern Grievance on all the social channels, moderngrievance.com. Pick something up. Helps us out. This economy sucks. So make our lives suck less.
Well, and one of the things I'm like really appreciating with especially a lot of the new releases is you're getting there's a lot of diversity. You know, like we have a lot of bands on here that fall into some like larger parent genre, but they're all kind of doing their own thing.
Totally.
Which is just very pleasing to me. And it's like we didn't really have to do much. They're creating the music. We're just helping put it out there. But it excites me to see that out there in that scene, this is like representative of, you know, the trend. Like what people are becoming a little more open to experimenting and kind of like breaking the traditional expectations of what this should be. And I like that.
Well, it's here's what drives me crazy about any, you know, for any like music genre people, right? I don't know anybody these days. I mean, back in the day, I think it was very different where it's like, if you like punk, you like punk. If you like metal, you like metal. If you like hardcore, you like hardcore. Like stoner metal, right? But I don't know anybody who only likes one subgenre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody is like, you like metal or hardcore? Cool. You're probably into these like all different kinds of bands. Cause
definitely,
you know, and it's I've just been fortunate enough that I just go out to a lot of shows and like play shows and just like get to meet cool people. And, you know, I'm one of my fucking, I guess, gifts on this fucking earth is just being organized and communicating with people. So being able to help bands do the shit that they don't want to do and kind of form our own thing. Cause none of those bands fit into like, it's not like there's a huge mathcore scene here or like, there's not like a, you know, a giant, like sludge metal scene here or something. Like, you know, there kind of is, but we're not in the cool bands, you know,
right.
but we're cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
doing our own thing.
You know, I've always felt that way in the sense that like, I would rather be weird and stand out than go safe and sound like the rest of the bands on this bill. You know, like I've always been like that. And it really excites me to see other people out there doing that and that we get to fucking put out a cool record. Not only, you know, that looks cool and is a tangible thing, but it sounds cool. It's different. It stands out from all the other things that it could possibly sound like.
Dude, and we're about to hit our 20th release. The next one that we put out is going to be 20. So it's like, that's nuts, dude. So dude, feel very fortunate to be able to do this. Yeah, man, it's a it's a tough life of being 35 years old and still being like, I'm in a band, because like I saw this like meme or video the other day where it's like telling a girl that you're in a band, and it's like when you're 20, she's like, oh, you're in a band, and you're 25, it's like, oh, you're in a band, that's cool, and then you're 30, and it's like, oh, you're
in a band.
So thanks to our partners for putting up with all that shit, and dude, keep coming out to shows, man. Like music's in a weird spot right now, and I think you know, being creative and just doing your own thing, it sucks in the long run, but it's hard, but it's very worth it in the long run, I mean to say.
And you know, I think the support, you know, how do you support? It's really easy. You go to a band's Bandcamp and you buy their shit from their Bandcamp, or go to their website and buy tangible merchandise. Go to a show and support them at a live show. It's super easy. And that, honestly, like, whatever, you want to support another artist, cool. They don't need your fucking money. The band who's playing at the club down the street, they need your money.
That's what I'm saying.
Need that money in their gas tank to get to the next place. And honestly, they're probably doing something cooler than any other asshole.
I'm tired of big ass fucking shows, man. I haven't had a good experience at any one I went to post COVID. Like, people don't know how to fucking act. It's like not a fucking community. And, you know, I have a way better time going to a 150 cap venue and watching like 4 bands that are like hungry as fuck and tear it up and are doing their own thing. And yeah, man, it's just a cool experience. So go out to some shows, everybody. Show some love.
Yeah, and like, you know, fucking support your fucking friends who do shit.
Dude.
I think that's the other thing. Like, you know, in Tennessee, we knew so many people who made music we didn't give a fuck about. We still supported them.
Dude, totally.
We still liked their shit. We still went to their shows. We still bought their merchandise. We still wore as many stickers or T-shirts as we could to help support and promote. I don't understand why people are just like getting so.
I think part of it is that people are concerned about how they come off online, right? Because now that everybody has their own brand, right? Like
I guess, yeah.
People are afraid. Yeah, people are afraid to be associated with like certain things, but it's like, dude, it doesn't matter, man. Like, I'll go see my friends. I'm not a huge pop punk fan, but like, I'll go see my friends play a pop punk show because I like to support my friends and I want to see my friends have a good time. Like, and I'll just go hang out. Like, what the fuck else am I gonna go to Friday? Sit at home on my computer and bitch about things on the internet? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, man. That goes a long way. Just like, supporting your friends and just doing what you can. Because it's always the people who bitch about like, oh, there's no scene around here. There's no nothing. Like, you're the ones who don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every fucking place there's some people making music. Every place there's somebody trying to express themselves. I don't know. It's been very cool to watch what you've been like kind of cultivating up there. That's I think there's like a general distaste from the public's perspective toward like Ticketmaster and all the shystery.
All of that shit.
They're still gonna fucking buy the tickets and go to the shows. This is what's stupid is like capitalism works. If you stop buying tickets to the shows, ultimately the groups will be like, I don't want the stain of Ticketmaster. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like the market would adjust for that, but people just keep buying the fucking tickets to see the shows, and the monopoly gets stronger.
I mean, dude, like I'll occasionally go want to see a big artist. Like I've got bucket list artists, right? Like everybody does, right?
Sure.
Like ever since I like had the opportunity to see Motorhead and I didn't go for whatever fucking reason. So I was like, oh, it's like $80. I'm not going to go, whatever. And then the fucking 2 years later, Libby died. And I was like, well, fuck, now I'm never going to get to see Motorhead. So it's like, I've got my bucket list, and like Depeche Mode's always a band that I've wanted to go see. I saw that they're coming up here to Seattle in like November, and tickets went on sale. And, so like, me and my partner were going to be like, oh, like, fuck yeah. Like we would have been stoked on that. Just no matter where we sat, whatever. I looked up tickets that were like up in the rim of like the stadium, dude. They were $300 a piece for like, to sit a football field away. I'm like, no.
I was gonna try and go see Rammstein when they came to PNC in Jersey, because their show, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Back row, top balcony, $400-$500.
You can't even see his dick from there.
That's what I mean. Like you can't.
You're not going to feel the flames.
It's fucking beyond nosebleeds. And like, look, whatever. If you get that seat, if that's the only seat you can afford, that's fine. That seat should be like $50.
Dude, yeah.
Why is that seat $400 or $500? So it's just absurd.
I could only imagine being into like fucking shit like Taylor Swift or something. I mean, I guess it's to set this whole thing off, but it's like people are fucking paying $800 for Taylor Swift tickets.
That was a tipping point. Like there were, Pearl Jam has been rebelling against Ticketmaster since the 90s. You know what I mean? Like this isn't new shit that they were saying like this is where it's headed, and they were totally right. But Taylor Swift is just like, that was like, now it's officially a part of a mainstream conversation. And it took like Taylor Swift's fans getting ripped off for people to give a fuck about it. But because Taylor Swift is that level mainstream artist. Right.
She's like one of the top 5 artists in the world, probably, like at least top 10.
So that's the only reason it's a conversation now. And whatever, it's not her fault. It's Ticketmaster's fault. I don't feel one way or the other about Taylor Swift or her fans. Ticketmaster,
that shit it's the way that it's linked up. And, I think a lot of people were, when COVID shutdowns were happening, like obviously no music venues and shit were open. There was a lot of venues that were silently closing or getting bought out by Live Nation.
Yep.
And I was like,
AEG. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like that. And sure enough, dude, like next thing you know, every ticket you buy has a $15 fee on it. It's like, you're paying an extra 25% of what the ticket price should be. And then, the next thing you know, you're just trying to go see Rammstein, which is like a great show, like no no issues, but like, you don't need to be paying $300 to go see Rammstein, because Rammstein is not paying $300, you know, like from your ticket.
I look, if we're talking about Fire Pit, $350, okay, that's fine. I get that. That's like an experience.
Sweat. Yeah.
That's an experience that they deliberately sell. Like they are very smart with how they market that as like a higher ticket price area for seating. Totally get it. Why am I paying $500 for the very back of the stadium at the very top of the bleachers?
Yeah. And because the artist isn't seeing that money, I guarantee.
No,
especially all those, in the way all
it's
those, like,
all going to fucking Live Nation or AEG or, you know,
or ticket scalpers.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing I was going to say is like the secondary markets, like the digitization of tickets is awesome. There's no problem with it. The problem is the people who sell the tickets don't mind if the second market gets a little bit crazier. They didn't keep as much of a damper on it as they should have, and now it's just gotten wildly out of control. I think, Clint, you were telling me there was a show, like a random metal show up in Seattle, and all of a sudden tickets that were supposed to be like 10 were 50 or 60 or something.
Same thing. So Botch reunion just happened. I think they just played their first show in Tacoma this last week, and then there's this upcoming weekend, there's a couple Seattle dates, and all those tickets sold out in 12 seconds, you know?
Wow.
So I know half of my friends were able to end up getting them. Some weren't, but at first, like, and a bunch of them bought it off the secondary market because people from all over the country were trying to buy them too, you know?
Yeah.
And now they probably feel stupid because now they just announced like, oh, we're going to do 2 Portland dates and 2 Austin dates and 2 New York dates and, you know, whatever. So everybody's probably just unloading their tickets this week. So I'll probably be able to get one now, but yeah, man, I looked up tickets and it was like, whatever, $200. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't pay $200 to go watch a fucking hardcore band. Like, it's
right.
That's not the way it should be. But I mean, given they're doing it right, they're not malicious about it, you know? And even their record label was like, hey, we're going to go through and find some of these bots and release more tickets. And you know, they were able to, but it wasn't that many, you know, just because they can't prove, you know.
Sure.
Some people do actually are buying 5 tickets because all their friends are sitting on a computer trying to get, you know, trying to get them at the same time. But yeah, man, that shit's just getting out of control. It just makes it like that whole experience just makes it like not fun or worth it, you know. It doesn't feel like
well, it's definitely not worth it. Like, it's not worth it to pay. Like the I don't understand how, like, again, this is all just market. A market is established. Tickets are being sold. Supply is low. Demand is high. Like, this is just basic shit. I understand that it's probably always going to exist. But why would anyone pay $1,600 to see Taylor fucking Swift?
Yeah.
Why would anyone pay $500 to sit in the very worst row to watch Rammstein? Why would anyone do that? And as long as people keep doing it, they're going to continue to see how much they can fucking squeeze until people cannot tolerate anymore. It's so funny.
It's going to be like that scene. You ever seen that movie Pop Star, like with the Lonely Island guys in it?
Yeah. What's funny is I just watched that for the first time a couple months ago, but it's hilarious. It's a good movie.
Like, he's on the tour and then he's like, all right, everybody on the left side scream. And then, you know, he goes up, he's like, everybody in the back. And like, there's nobody in the top row. It's going to be like that eventually, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's one guy up there with his shirt off, you know? Like,
yeah. No, seriously. That like, and what's funny is they're okay with that. Like, this is how every industry works. Like, there's like the golden period where they're just raking in cash and then they're trying to fucking squeeze every dollar out of you. And then at some point, just like with music, then it became free. And then all of a sudden, all this like infrastructure they had didn't matter anymore because people figured out a way to get their music for free, and it fucked up their whole system. And whatever fallout, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, AEG, whatever fallout any of those companies experienced because of that,
deserve it.
It's what you did it. Like, you did it to yourself, and you're gonna have to. But see, to them, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would, if we've got a way that's making money now, why would we change direction? Like, most corporations, especially corporations at that level, they only care once they start losing money. Then once they start losing money, then there's an incentive for them to change because they're not making money. But as long as they're still making money, they're going to keep doing it that way, which is why I'm saying it's just hilarious. Like, the people fuel this problem just as much as they do. They're doing what corporate raiders do, milk us for every fucking penny they can. But we're the market. Like, we can decide. Now we're shutting off our pouring money into Ticketmaster. I'd rather not see a show than pay that much for a ticket. Like Rage Against the Machine tickets being hundreds of dollars.
That was not, dude. That's
you kidding
pure.
Me? You
that's
kidding
the pure
me, bro?
Irony of that, dude.
You kidding me, bro? Like Tom Morello? Yeah, like, bro, come on.
For how outspoken both those bands are, for them just kind of be at the whim of the capitalist system that they scream about slavery and shit.
Yeah,
and like,
no, seriously.
It's real.
I had multiple opportunities to go see the MSG Rage Against the Machine show, and I didn't, because I was like, dude, no way am I paying multiple $100s to go see Rage Against the Machine.
Well, dude, and again, when you're at shows like that, I get that could be a bucket list band for you. So like, if it is, like, do what you got to do. But like, I'm not gonna have fun at that show, man. You know how it's like Metallica and like Pantera are touring here, and everybody's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Do you know how many assholes are going to be at that fucking show?" I was like, "Sure, I'd go see Metallica. Why not?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, "Yeah, that should be like a band that everybody who's into metal should just go see if you have the opportunity." But like, fuck, man, I'm not going to pay that much money, and also just the people that are going to be there are the worst. That's not your community, you know? Like, that's just every fucking drunk dude you've ever seen, like, say some stupid shit in a bar is going to be there. And he's going to try to fight you.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Because you looked at his girlfriend.
Yeah, there will definitely be some kind of outburst of some kind, yeah. He'll be all hopped up on Monster Energy drink, you know?
No, Liquid Death is sponsoring everything.
Oh,
so at least everybody's
tight.
at least everybody's hydrated.
Sick, dude. Got to drink your water, bro.
At least everybody's hydrated. That shit's genius. They're doing a good job.
You know what's funny is people are drinking that water, Liquid Death, and I'm just drinking liquid cyanide.
I'm just drinking that fucking haterade right now. I'm just like, I was so mad last week. I got real. Remember I called you? And I was like, motherfucker.
You've been having problems.
Sipping that haterade, dude.
Universe has been trying you, buddy.
Bro, I got a fucking cold, and then I have all these like deadlines due for things, and then just people aren't communicating. And I don't know if it's like a technology thing, and like social media has done it to us, but like it drives me fucking insane because I feel like so many of the world's problems could be solved if people just communicated just a little bit, you know, have that uncomfortable conversation so it doesn't suck more later. Because
Clint, that's the problem. That's the problem. They don't want to have an uncomfortable. Nobody wants to have an uncomfortable conversation, except for you and I love having uncomfortable conversations.
Dude, whatever.
We have uncomfortable conversations with whoever we can, but most people don't like that.
No, it's how you get stronger and better at things. Though people like they don't.
Yeah, but it's hard work. It's hard work.
They don't.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, they don't want to do a little bit of fucking work to make sure everything's good. They'll just like, you know, just go do what they want to do and either assume or just be passive, or just neglect, you know. And then all of a sudden, the person who's trying to communicate has to clean up the fucking mess. And it's happened to me in multiple situations lately. I'm not going to like go into any one of them, put anybody on blast, but dude, there's like 3 situations last week where I was like, if you would have just communicated with me instead of all you had to do was text me. All you had to do was tell me. Like, now I'm mad.
Yeah.
If you ever seen my stink face, like when I play a show, that's it. Like, it's hard for me to get that face, but like all of a sudden I'm just like,
yeah, but you know, it's just it's because it's hard to be direct. It's hard to be direct.
It's not though. It's not. It's the easiest.
It is. It is for most people though. It is for most people because most people like really have this serious fear of like violent retaliation. If it's like completely unwarranted, it's like the people pleaser in most people would just rather quietly suffer than say, hey, wait, excuse me, can we clarify this? But it's not a problem that you or I have, so it's hard for us to see the world like that. But a lot of people do. And most people are fucking quiet sufferers, dude.
Dude, they just need, like, it's all from some trauma from when they're younger or something, right? Like, it's
or
like
some shit
stupid,
that they've built up in their own head.
Yeah,
It's,
but
it could be a number of
something
things.
stupid, like their fucking kindergarten teacher yelled at them when they were a little kid for doing something, and they just associate that all the time, and it's all just built off of that, right? So, like, I don't know if, like, people just need to go to therapy or just need to go outside and touch grass.
Well, they definitely need to go to therapy. They definitely need to go to therapy. They need to go to therapy, and definitely getting out in nature, I think that's absolutely something that is an essential part of life that has kind of been scrubbed from our daily experience for most people. But I mean, we're getting a little hippie here. All I'm saying is that for most people, it's hard to be direct. You and I have never had a problem asking a tough question, questioning authority. We've never had that problem, like, at all, at any point in our lives. Both of our parents would be able to.
I've had a problem questioning authority at certain times.
No.
Those are actual police officers.
What I'm saying is we've never had a question. We've never had a problem questioning authority, and our teachers and parents will 100% confirm that. We were always willing to ask a question, regardless of how uncomfortable it might make the person we were asking. And just most people aren't. And what's dumb is, like, a lot of problems could probably be completely avoided if we were just having direct, open, non-judgmental communication. We can talk about things without fighting physically, right? It's okay. If we disagree, we don't have to fucking punch each other.
Dude, and that's like, over the last few years, that's just what the world has turned into, right?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say the world. We're seeing it more because
definitely United States.
It's in our country, right? In our country, it's been particularly divisive. But it goes. It's sure. There's a general sense of confusion. Trust is at an all-time low. Doubt is at an all-time high, and that's not just in America. That's globally, we see that for sure in conflicts and in other countries, between other countries.
I don't know. I think people just fucking put emphasis on the wrong things, and then they don't want to talk about it. Like, they don't want to talk about the issue. They just say, here it is, and this is easier for me to just be this way. Like, I'm worried about why is my bag of groceries $100 fucking? I'm not worried about some other fucking bullshit that I can't. It's like, let's talk about that.
That's good old inflation. They don't want to talk about that.
And even my dude, I'll put my mom on blast because she's definitely not listening. Dude, I was like talking to her the other day, and I was like, yeah, it's crazy, whatever. I owe like tax money this year or some shit. And then she was like, yeah, thanks, Biden. And she like lives in Alabama and watches Fox News and shit. I'm like, are you serious? You think that one person did that? It's like, stop watching Fox News. Stop watching the news. I mean, I don't know. Watch the news, I guess, if you want, but like, no,
you have to.
The spin on it.
But here's the thing: you have to watch the news, but you have to remember that our news is entertainment. It's not news.
It's advertisements.
That's all it is to push an agenda and typically it's the agenda of whatever company owns that media outlet. And it's quite deliberate. When manufacturers of home appliances own news corporations, guess what they're advertising during the news breaks, right? You know what I mean? Like this is what it is, but you don't have to believe it. Right.
No.
And honestly, what I found to be the most effective thing is if you find a story that you think there's more to, if you read every other possible outlet, regardless of how far it swings the other way, after reading all of them, you kind of get a clearer picture of what is the known information, or what at least was the information that remained consistent across all of the spin. Like where was the spin? Because every person who's narrating their version of the story is going to have a spin to it. And the only way you can really kind of infer what might be real is by reading or hearing that same story from all the sources. But that's hard work. That's hard work, Clint.
What's great about,
I don't want to do that.
What's great about that, though, is doing everything that you just said. Then you get something that you can form. It's called your own fucking opinion.
Yeah.
And
No,
not
seriously.
just regurgitating some shit that you've read
Well, I think,
or like a headline.
and I think,
you know?
the people who follow Fox they're particularly dumb because they're so tunnel visioned on one network. Like people who are more with the liberal media, which would be like MSNBC, CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC, right? That's what Fox News would call the liberal media. They have a little more of an option because there's a number of different networks, right? So for them, it might be easier to be like, oh, CNN's full of shit, or ABC's trash, or NBC's this. Fox is all they have.
It's either
right?
Fox or InfoWars.
Right. So they can't, like, they have to grab onto that. If there were other, like, conservative news media that was at Fox's level and not down the conspiracy train, like mainstream conservative level news that was at the viewership of Fox, then maybe people would see how much of a joke Fox is. Because when they would go to the other one, they'd be like, damn, this one doesn't seem like a cartoon. Fox kind of seems like a goddamn cartoon compared to this normal broadcast of conservative leading insider opinion. But,
so everyone in the sound of our voice, go to your local anarchist or communist bookstore and just get some bread. Get some bread.
See, look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's the stupidity is in both places, and I think
it's everywhere.
That's been my the biggest reason why I don't know, man. People are so fucking tunnel visioned on just hearing what they want to hear. Nobody is willing to hear uncomfortable information. Anything that questions their worldview, anything that questions their spiritual beliefs, they're so like objective to receiving a new piece of information. It ain't good. It ain't good. Like right now with the state of the world, not only society, but like physically the state of the world, we need to be open. And we need to be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Adaptable. Every one of us needs to be a little more willing to entertain an idea that we necessarily wouldn't have entertained the day before because we're going to run out of options. And like I was talking before, how like corporations, they get to a point where they're not going to change anything until they start losing money. Well, in our scenario, it's when people start dying, right? So when the infrastructure or the situation on the planet, when it gets to the point where people start dying, that's when they're going to start trying to do something about it. But by that point, they won't be able to do enough in the amount of time left before most people die to actually make a benefit for any serious lasting. But you see what I mean? Like that's like there's like a funny correlation between how the trajectory we're on and what we were criticizing Ticketmaster for earlier.
And you know what, everybody? It's all of this that James just said because you just didn't want to fucking communicate and have a conversation.
Yeah, seriously.
Grow the fuck up and go touch
grass
and say something that might not be perfect.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to learn things. It's okay to say you don't know.
All the fucking time.
Dude.
Nobody knows
happily
what the fuck you're doing. And if everybody would just fucking admit that, it would be so much easier.
No, seriously.
Like, I didn't know. Okay. How do we solve that? Communication.
Yeah.
Ask a question. Take accountability.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Accountability. I don't know if that's necessarily like lost at a specific generation, because I notice a lot of people who are much older than me who I notice to have zero accountability for their own behavior. So I don't know if like people. Oh yeah, exactly. People always want to drop it on a specific generation. I don't think so. I think it's a human problem. I think human accountability is at an all-time low.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're not that accountable for anything anymore. You rely on so much other stuff that it's not you. You know.
No, right, and it becomes that much easier. It becomes that much easier to be like, oh, it's not, not my problem. It's not my responsibility to do this.
Like, how do people go through their lives on a completely like subscription based, like what kind of life is that? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you don't have to interact or do anything hard at all because you're just like, okay, I go to work, I make my money. My groceries get delivered this day. My food, my box of meal prep for the week gets delivered this day. All my bills are just paid for automatically. Then you're just a fucking drone of a human. Like you're not doing anything. I don't know. I like, obviously, like it's not like I like going to the DMV or something, but it's like you gotta be open to that experience, and everything's funny in hindsight. And I think that's my best advice for anybody that's like scared to take a chance or do something. It's like, yeah, it's gonna suck and be stressful, but like in 2 weeks, you're gonna be like, ha! Like,
yeah.
Like, remember that stupid shit? Like,
can't believe I was even thinking this was what it was, you know?
Yeah, like remember that? That was fucking stupid. I don't know.
Yeah,
Everybody
there's a lot of those.
Go to therapy, go lay in the grass, fucking, I don't know. Tell somebody something weird about yourself. James, go.
It's what makes honestly, dude, it's what makes the world fucking interesting. It's like that fucking book, The Giver. Sometimes I feel like I'm walking around and everyone is seeing in fucking black and white and I'm seeing in color, and I'm trying to explain to these people what the fuck's going on, and they just look at me like, you're fucking nuts. But that's like, the world is more interesting if you are who you are and you ask strange questions, and you never know what answer you're going to get. Like some of the coolest conversations and definitely some of the most interesting people I've met have become because I started asking a strange question, and it, like, you know, led me down a search rabbit hole, or getting passed around from friend to friend. Like, you need to ask this person. Life is more interesting. Life is more interesting when you just fucking.
Well, and when you don't think it like you were just saying, like thinking in black and white, where everything is either this way or it's this way. It's like, no, it's not. I like
plenty
the
of
full
shades
color
of gray.
spectrum.
Yeah, there's plenty of shades of gray.
I want all the grays. I want the full rainbow spectrum. I want glitter. I want dullness. I want some dope ass album covers that are not just black and white. Crust punk bands, if you're listening,
we do like.
It doesn't have to be black and white.
We do
it
like
doesn't
black
have
and
to
white
be black and
records,
white
so.
all the time. Like, spice up your life. In the words of the Spice Girls, spice up your life.
Yeah, spice up your life.
That's you're so Posh Spice. That's so you.
God damn it. I wish I were Dead Spice.
Can I be Baby?
Sure. Okay, wait, before we wrap this up, I need to ask you, Clint, do you have Apple TV?
Yeah.
Okay, have you watched Blackbird?
I'm not, no.
Bro, watch it. I'm just going to say this to you. The show's very good, but there's one element to it that's strangely out of place, and when you hear it, you're going to know exactly what it is.
Okay.
But it was a good show. Courtney and I basically watched the whole thing. I found out on Xbox I had an offer for like 3 or 4 months free of Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of like crushing through all the acclaimed series. We did Severance. Severance was pretty awesome. Weird as hell, but super cool. We just started an alien abduction one called Survivor. That one should be pretty sick. There's a bunch of good comedies on there.
I'll dive into Apple TV more. We share it with like somebody's mom or something. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much. Not only are there a bunch of good movies, but Apple TV's content is pretty solid. Like they've got a bunch of critically acclaimed, award-winning shows on there.
Once we finish
they're good.
Once we finish this damn mushroom zombie show that everybody's watching right now, that we're also watching,
do you watch the episode last night?
Yeah. Dude, yeah. I'll tell you what though, man, that like third episode with like the prepper dudes, and like they fall in love. Spoiler alert! It was so good. I loved that one. I was just like, "That's such a dude." It was so good.
That was so dumb. That was so fucking dumb. I want violence. I want violence in my goddamn zombie show. Okay.
You sound a little homophobic right now.
It has.
See, and this is why we lean into these uncomfortable conversations.
It's Walking Dead bullshit. That's what pisses me off about it. It's Walking Dead bullshit. Don't give me the bullshit. Give me. the fucking, like, please make up for what Walking Dead lacked, and that's action to carry me through between the boring, dramatic stories that they were telling.
And
I
give me
don't
more.
care. And it's not like, okay, here's what I want to see, is what Courtney and I always say. Like, what do we want to see in a horror movie? What do we want to see here? What do we want to see there? And we see a movie that does something really well, or a show where like we really appreciate it. One thing I want to see in a goddamn zombie show or movie is an accurate reflection of how fucked it would be.
Yeah.
Like you see samples of it in Walking Dead, but then they give you 50% of this hyper unrealistic reality where there's going to be all these people who have all these specialized skills and have been able to like rebuild pockets of society. No. Not fucking happening. That's not true. Okay. Last of Us, I appreciate how they talk about how the government would just bomb cities. If there was some shit like this, they would have zero problem nuking their own cities, any government. They wouldn't even fucking think about it twice if humanity was at stake. Yeah, for sure. But again, what's with all this other bullshit? What's this other bullshit?
Yeah.
And even the whole bunker that he created, like, look, bro, you bunkerized your entire neighborhood. Please, maybe your house. If it had just been his house, I'd be like, okay, that's a little more believable. Like even him being a prepper, like I know people who are like that. I know people who, if some shit like that went down, they would have a little game plan for what they would do. But they're not fucking turning a whole neighborhood into a fucking oasis that's impenetrable. That's not happening. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it's cool. It's good to have that human experience, I guess, of like the drama, but also I want them to just walk into dark rooms and then shit with fucking mushrooms going out of their eyes goes like,
dude, but that's what it would be. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what it would be. It wouldn't be any of this like long exposition between short violent moments. It would all be violence. There would be violence everywhere at every moment.
Your daily would just be violence.
One thing we appreciate about this Survivor show is how brutal it is. Like there's fucking aliens invading the world and it just shows like different people experiencing it. It's brutal, but it is an accurate representation of what would happen if there was a war of the world scenario. None of this fucking, oh, we've got a community underground. So-and-so is building a bunker under his house and now it's turned into a 300 person city that can sustain life. We have horses down here. It's like, no, you don't. It didn't fucking happen. All you people will be dead in reality.
I'm sold. Based on can you describe every show like that to me?
Yeah, honestly,
like here's what you need to watch and why. Like I'm in. Sold.
Courtney and I joke about that all the time. Like she and I should have a show where we just like sit and rip on shit because we just
Courtney's
can't stand
good at ripping on shit.
Bro, not only is she really good at it, but she's like for horror and zombie shit, she's up on her shit. Like she's seen all the stuff. Like she's just as hard a critic. I know we've talked about this already, but like Hereditary, how they presented the occult or the satanic element was the most accurate representation of occultism in a movie that I've seen in fucking decades. I don't even know if I can think of another one that has, by its use of occult, like the ceremonial aspects of the occult tradition.
Right.
I don't know if I've seen another movie that hasn't made it look cheesy. Every time in Hollywood, someone brings out the pentagram or they start talking about some fucking
Ouija board. Yeah.
It's so cliche, and Hereditary nailed it. And that for me was one of the moments that it was like, that's what made it. It was that level of detail that made it real. Like they actually talked with people who do that shit. Wiccans, pagans, somebody that's like, how they were practicing the ornaments, the